So obviously the small class size, the small program size, the community here at Notre Dame sets us apart. I think one other thing that is unique to Notre Dame is the focus that we put on business ethics and in incorporating that into all that we do. Right now you see a ton of stories about inadequate or unethical leadership in business, right? How has going through this program helped you, be better as leaders and deal with some of those issues and kind of reinforced your ability to lead with integrity and with some ethical consideration? Lindsay.
I think first, from a job search perspective, it really helped me not only understand what was important to me individually, but what I was looking for in a career. So as a recent grad, I am new to sort of my post-MBA life, if you will, and that meant finding a company or an area of business or that aligned with what I was looking to do. So when I had my company list and would go on interviews, I had a different set of questions that, yes, had to do with maybe a brand or a success story, or how did they achieve a certain target, but it was more than that. What are their partnerships? How do they align themselves? What standards do they hold as a corporation their employees to? So really it helped me launch my career in understanding not only first myself, but then what I was looking for.
Well, I think that when you talk about ethics, it really has to begin with a conversation. And I think that conversation is initiated by the ethics curriculum that we have made a part of the broader business curriculum here in Mendoza. Now, that's not 100% of it. I mean, I think it kicks off that conversation. But what it does, at least what it did for me and what I believe it'll do for a lot of students, is put in perspective or create an awareness of what ethics should be. And so when you ask the question, why ask more or ask more of your business education, it makes you think about some of the decisions that you should be making as a future business leader. There doesn't have to be a trade-off, so to speak, between free market enterprise, good business, and earnings, quite frankly, and being a socially responsible corporate citizen. There doesn't have to be that trade-off. And I think so long as students who complete the curriculum go into the workplace with that frame of mind, I think they'll be in a much better position to make decisions that are both ethical, that are both in the interest of long-term shareholder value, but then also in the interest of community development.
Dave.
One of the areas subsequent to the MBA, one of my responsibilities is managing the contracts team at my organization. And with that, the two responsibilities are putting the contracts in place and then executing down the road. And as we execute on these contracts down the road, there is bound to be questions that come up and issues as you work through these contracts. And when those questions come up, we always ask, what does the contract say? What is the precedent? And then I think we take that step further and we do ask one more question of, what should we do? And 9 times out of 10, by asking that additional question, that leads to the path where we can resolve any sort of issues that are there without any litigation or any challenges down the road. But by integrating that into your work process day in and day out, you establish that leadership within the organization and within the marketplace.
Absolutely.
I think what's interesting is that the way that Notre Dame defines ethics kind of shaped my view differently, in that, there's kind of legal issues here and then there's above that. So it's not all just about Enron or companies that legally have been prosecuted. It's day-to-day decisions that you can make in business where, I'm in sales, there are scoreboarding issues where you can do something that maybe isn't the right thing for the company and you can self-benefit, and having people that do that really would deteriorate and erode over time the company. But in a short-term decision, it's passing up that advantage short-term to make sure that you do the right thing with the company. And there's a ton of examples now throughout business on a day-to-day basis.
Sure. We say here at the business school that we want to ask more of business, and we ask our students to kind of ask more of themselves. What does that mean to you as alumni?
I think being associated with Notre Dame and going here, and I think it's just not what you learn in the class. I think how people behave themselves. So whether it's your classmates and they're sharing tips, I mean, they have the same interview as me, but they're talking about it to make sure that, let the best person win. We are not just cutthroat where either the job is yours or mine, where we're sharing techniques, we're sharing network with each other. I mean, just that talks a lot about business. I think there are two ways to be successful. One is, you just prove that you are the best, and and the rest kind of falls to the plate. Or you're, this is a really great school, and every one of us would find the place where we're going to get. And there's an ethical way of doing that. I think that's what I really learned at Notre Dame, where people were really invested in making each other better instead of just making themselves better.
Sure.
I think having spent 2 years here with the students, the professors, just the entire university in general, it really elevated my standards for myself and for the places that I plan to work. So it really changed what I was looking for from my career, and it really, I have much higher expectations out of my employer as well, and out of myself. And I think wherever I go, having spent 2 years here at a place that just absolutely holds itself up to very high standards, I would never want to be somewhere where I don't feel that, where I don't find those same values and those same standards. And that's what I think Ask More is all about.